Oriire funo, good tidings to you. I pray that you're feeling awake, aware, and elevated in mind, body, and spirit, wherever you are, and whatever may be happening around you. Ashe, Ashe, Asheo. I'm Baba Umar, Oluranse Emese, voice of the MSA, member of the Isoro Traditional Council of Chiefs in Ile-Ife, Nigeria, Oluo of the House of Umar, and Babalao of Iliawo Orisa, the House of the Mysteries of the Orisa. Oriire, abundant blessings to our Egbe, our online community of subscribers that continues to grow every day, thanks to you. Thank you for joining us for another lesson. Remember, as a member of our YouTube Egbe, you can support each other's spiritual journey by posting your questions and uplifting comments in the comment section below. You can also email me using the link in the description below if you need to contact me on a more personal matter. Also, be sure to check the community section of this channel for periodic messages and additional Ifa lessons. If you're new to these video lessons, we invite you to go ahead and click the subscribe and notification buttons and share this resource with your family, friends, associates. You never know whose life you may change by that simple act of sharing. Homage to the one who sends and to those who are sent. Homage to Orisa and Egun. Our topic for this video is the 16 Truths of Ifa. Truth number 2, there is no devil. Although Ifa exposes and addresses all of the frailties of humans, you and I, it does not proclaim us to be born sinners or born in sin, original sin, as some other belief systems propose. Quite the opposite. The history and corpus of Ifa makes it clear that humans are divine creations with the potential to transform into powerful, ascendant beings. We're not created to be victims of God's wrath. Ifa acknowledges the existence of negative forces in creation, but none of these forces or entities exercise the power of gods beside the supreme being, Olofi-dumare. We're created to fulfill the legacy of creation, to choose to overcome the forgetfulness brought on by the dynamics of the loja, the marketplace, and to live in harmony with the agency and agents of Olofi-dumare. We are divine spiritual beings having a physical experience according to the will and intention of Olofi-dumare. Ifa entertains no concept or need for the existence of an entity called the devil. According to the English dictionary, the devil is the supreme spirit of evil, Satan, a subordinate evil spirit at enmity with God, and having power to afflict humans both with bodily disease and with spiritual corruption. The devil is an atrociously wicked, cruel, and evil-tempered person or entity. Europeans have long assumed that Eshu was the personification of the European Christian concept of the devil, Satan. According to Iya Lorisha, the priestess, spiritual medium of the Shango tradition, initiated as Ile-Ife in the Ifa tradition of Yoruba land, Nigeria, and author of the Farinade Olokun blog. We can trace the history of this misunderstanding, this intentional or unintentional misunderstanding, to the arrival in West Africa of the European Sir Thomas Powell and his translator in 1841. When Sir Thomas Powell set out on his Niger expedition, he traveled with a native-born Yoruba linguist named Bishop Ajayi Crowther. The name should give you some sense of the potential for wittingly or unwittingly biasing the translations that were made. Funso Aijejina, professor of literature at the University of the West Indies, St. Augustine, Trinidad and Tobago, gave a lecture at the National Theatre of Lagos, Nigeria in 2008. According to Professor Ajijina, Bishop Crowther was and is responsible for the association of Eshu with the devil, and therefore of the false notion that there is a concept of the devil in the Ifa spiritual tradition and other African spiritual traditions. He is responsible for the course of this history because as Bishop Crowther was translating the Bible into the Yoruba language for the purpose of wittingly or unwittingly assisting Europeans in the process of mentally colonizing African people, he chose to translate the word for the Christian concept of Satan as the Ifa primordial entity we call Eshu Olegba. It is difficult to imagine that this was unintentional. As a linguist and as a native-born Yoruba, Crowther would and should have known that the Yoruba name Eshu means the divine messenger, and the Yoruba name Olegbara means spirit of good character. Neither of these names would a Christian associate with the concept of the devil or Satan. It is understandable that some humans would come up with the concept of a primordial devil. We can understand that. After all, a lot of bad things happen in the lives of humans. And the concept of the devil is a useful epithet, a useful term, a useful concept in providing an explanation for some of these events, or at least a direction towards which we can direct our anger, rage, hatred, angst, and pain. Sometimes we skip right over the devil, blaming the devil, and go right to blaming God for the misfortunes and bad fortunes in our lives. In my understanding, my growing understanding of Ifa, I've come to the realization that in the Ifa perspective, bad things happen because of the spiritual mathematics of the Loja, the marketplace. Remember what we stated in previous lessons regarding the Loja. Just reflect back, go back, review what we've said about the Loja. Several of my past lessons, if not most of them, bring together the various elements of the spiritual mathematics. Olofi-dumare determined to create what you and I call creation, life, existence, so that the realm of infinite possibility could be manifested and witnessed as an experience. There is only one consciousness, and each of us is expressing that consciousness and reflecting to it and in it our experiences, our thoughts, our emotions, our choices, our actions. Ifa refers to this special relationship between the source, universal consciousness, and human consciousness as Kadara, a divine share, or Ikpin, a predestined share, and spiritual Ori, spiritual head or personal guide. Olofi-dumare, the Eleda, creator aspect or will of source, set into motion the principle of manifesting by the energy of thought. Thoughts become things. We've all heard that expression. Olofi-dumare also provided an avenue for Eshu Olegba to exercise supreme authority over the affairs of humans in the realm of the Loja by giving humans the ability and opportunity to make choices, one of the domains of Eshu Olegba. Eshu is not the devil. Ifa says there is no devil. Eshu is an Orisha, Irunmole, in the Isha'ro, spiritual tradition of the Yoruba people. Eshu is a prominent primordial divinity present at the very beginning of creation. Eshu is a delegated Irunmole sent by Olofi-dumare from Ikole-Orun, heaven, the sky, heaven, to earth. He is the chief enforcer of natural and divine laws. Note, nothing like Satan. Eshu is the chief enforcer of natural and divine laws. He is the deity in which the law of enforcement and orderliness is endowed. Eshu's function or role is to receive and to rescue. Olegba receives supplications, dues, and gifts when approached, and goes out to rescue when called upon. Eshu is primarily a special relations officer between Orun, heaven, and Aye, earth. Eshu is the Inspector General or the confidential secretary of Olofi-dumare. He, in fact, makes the final recommendation to Olofi-dumare for the latter's approval. He also reports on a regular basis to Olofi-dumare on the deeds of men and divinities, incorrect worship in general, and sacrifices in particular. So all of that, he reports to Olofi-dumare in all of these areas. We say, Eshu, Eyeni Oluwa-ilo, you are the Lord of flexibility. Eshu, Eyeni Oluwa-awo-yiyan eshi ati iparo, you are the Lord of choice, chance, and change. Olofi-dumare also set into motion the principle of Nawa, Itelo, expansion. We've talked about this in previous lessons. This is set in place as a fundamental necessity if the goal of experiencing the realm of infinite possibility is to be realized. Everything in creation is operating under this important principle, and that includes you and me. Nawa, Itelo, expansion, necessarily implies change. So Olofi-dumare also established the principle that anytime you change a thing, you change more than what was intended. Anytime you change a thing, you change more than what was intended. If you and I are going to experience expansion, then the opportunity for us to make choices must be such that we are encouraged to learn and grow in the process of making those choices. Humans must learn the consequences of doing this as opposed to that, and then grow, expand into the wiser choice and higher state of being. That is to say, our physical Ori, which is emotionally attached to the Loja, must transcend and enter a state of Isopo connectivity with our spiritual Ori, which is bound to heaven. Therefore, the principle of contrast, this versus that, is an ever-present manifestation of the architecture of the Loja. Hence we say, Ori inu mabato deje. May my spiritual Ori not be in conflict with my physical Ori. So bad things don't happen because of the devil. Bad things happen because of the spiritual mathematics of the Loja and the human capacity to make both good and bad choices. The Ajogun, Iku, death, Arun, sickness, Eyo, tragedy, Ofo, loss, Idina, obstacles, Akoba, unforeseen evils, Fatibo, to be overwhelmed, are a part of the spiritual mathematics of the Loja. Ifa provides its devotees and adherents ways of working with the spiritual mathematics, shifting the ashe to our advantage and avoiding or mitigating the influence of the Ajogun by making the best choices. Notice this is putting responsibility back on you and me. Not something out there, the devil or some other entity out there. No, our choices are the most powerful thing influencing our lives. The choices we make and the actions we take can certainly result in what we might refer to as devilish behavior or a devilish state of being. But to assign the consequences of our choices to the devil is an unsuccessful attempt to circumvent the experiential reality of the Loja. Remember, Emini ala koso tia yanmo ikpin. Say it with me. I am the master of my destiny. Say it. I am free to accept or to reject at will. Say it. I am free to take the power. Say it. I am free to take the wisdom. Say it. I choose to shine as a light among the children of men. Choice. That is the gift that Olofi-dumare gave to you and me, and that is the seat of our power. Nor does Olofi-dumare want the credit or blame for our choices. Just as a father or a mother would not want to take the credit or blame for the choices of their children. By allowing the child to assume both the credit and the blame for their choices, the parents are helping the child to grow into a responsible human being. In this life, opposing or alternative choices are put before us, and we are left to decide for ourselves. We share that experience of choosing with the one universal consciousness, the source of everything that we call Olofi-dumare. All of this brings us to the third truth of Ifa. There is no predestination. You and I have the capacity to choose the direction that we go, the pace that we go, and what we take along with us. Ashe, Ashe, Asheo. Ki Olo-dumare Orisha ati egun, fifun ni, itona imoye ati opo ire. May Olo-dumare Orisha and Egun bestow on you guidance, wisdom, and abundant blessings. Ifo Kanbale, peace of mind from Olo-dumare. Mogbagbo, Ninutiyo, I believe in you. Okanmi, Idojuti Oti-Ife, my heart embraces you with love. Ajolo, Ajobo. We go out together, we return together. Ashe, Ashe, Asheo.